Well informed during your asylum procedure. Persons with a protection status in a different EU member state. An educational film by the Cologne Refugee Council, supported by the UN Refugee Agency, Germany. You have undergone an application procedure in an EU member state and received protection status, for example, a refugee status, subsidiary protection status, or humanitarian status there. You then traveled to Germany and applied for asylum. What happens next? You will be interviewed by the Federal Office for Migration and Refugees, called BAMF. The BAMF will then decide if the other country is responsible for you and if you need to go back. Typically, you'll have 2 hearings or interviews within 1 day. In your first interview, the BAMF will decide the admissibility of your asylum application and if Germany or another country is responsible for reviewing your application. The BAMF must also assess if there are any reasons that prevent you from returning to the EU member state initially responsible for you. In a second interview, you will be questioned on your reasons for leaving your country of origin or why you had to flee. You will now probably ask yourself, under which circumstances is Germany not allowed to retransfer me to another EU member state? And how can I stay in Germany even though I got protection status in another country? There are chances of you staying in Germany if you are in danger of severe human rights violations, including inhumane or demeaning treatment in the other EU member state, especially if you weren't provided with appropriate housing, if you weren't provided with sufficient food and toiletries, if you haven't been given access to medical care, if you haven't received sufficient financial support, if your children haven't been given the chance to attend school, if there weren't any possibilities for you to integrate or find work. In such cases, you run high risk to sink into poverty and/or deprivation in that particular EU member state. During your interview with the BAMF, you will provide detailed information on the difficulties and problems you came across in the other EU member state and what consequences you might suffer if staying there, for example, homelessness, deprivation, etc. Also highlight how your situation changed after receiving protection status. Germany will only assume responsibility for your asylum application if you can convincingly outline that you aren't able to return to the other EU member state. Keep in mind, the rules of the Dublin III regulation don't apply here. Germany's responsibility for you cannot be based on the expiration of specific deadlines. However, the BAMF may decide that you can safely return to the other EU member state. You will receive a notification stating that your asylum application is inadmissible and therefore has been rejected. You can file a lawsuit against this decision with the administrative court. However, you usually only have 1 week to do so. If you receive a notification of inadmissibility, please contact a consulting office or lawyer as soon as possible. Contact a consulting office if you've been waiting for a BAMF notification for more than 6 months. Since laws and legal circumstances can change regularly, it is helpful to make an individual consulting appointment. Do you have any open questions or feel the need for an individual consultation? Please drop by during our office hours when we can make an appointment. In case of emergency, you can contact us via email or phone. Our contact information is posted on the notice board and container F. Our office hours are Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and Thursdays from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. There are no office hours on Tuesdays and Fridays or outside those mentioned previously. You can find us in container F. You'll find the entrance at the container's back. We look forward to welcoming you.